Hi. Oh, you caught me working underneath the Model A truck. My name is Justin Price. I'm a cybersecurity expert and car enthusiast. Before I show you some of the vehicles, let me tell you a little bit about myself.
I'm a senior vice president with Kroll Cyber Risk. Kroll is a global cybersecurity firm that offers digital forensic, incident response, as well as proactive services to our clients around the world. That kind of stressful job requires you to have some type of hobby or some way to get away from the office and get outside the office and do something that you enjoy. And I do that through working on my classic vehicles. I enjoy working on antique vehicles. I'm a purist in the sense that I like to maintain the cars in their original state as they left the factory. I have a lot of respect for those who hot rod vehicles, but I like to maintain them, as if they were walking off the factory line. So let me show you a little bit more about the vehicles that we currently have in our collection.
And here we have a 1930 Model A pickup truck. Ford produced about 160,000 Model A trucks back in 1930. They came in two different styles. There's an open cab and a closed cab style. This is actually a closed cab model where it's a hard shell that encapsulates the occupants inside. There was actually 9 different total models of Model A's that were available to customers back in 1930. You don't see a lot of original Model A pickup trucks on the road anymore, only because they're a very popular choice of hot rodders. People like to take these, chop them up, and hot rod them. So it's rare to see one in its original condition that left the factory back in 1930. Mechanically, it has an iconic 4-cylinder engine that Ford produced. It has about 40 horsepower with a rated top speed of about 65 miles per hour. This car is in great shape mechanically. It runs well, it drives well, and their goal is to keep it as preserved as original as possible and just fix things that break as time goes on. And here we have a 1966 Mustang Coupe. Ford produced a little over 422,000 Mustang Coupes back in 1966. This particular vehicle was manufactured on November 23rd, 1965 in San Jose, California. It left the factory, as you see it here, with a red exterior with red vinyl interior. This car actually has an inline-6 engine rated about 120 horsepower, which is mated to an automatic transmission. This car mechanically is in great shape. It runs very well. It drives well. I redid the entire front suspension this past year. I plan on doing the rear maybe this winter or maybe in the springtime. But it's a great car to drive. It's a fantastic car to bring up to your local car show. Everybody loves the iconic look of a Ford Mustang as well as its red exterior. Here we have a 1956 Ford Victoria. Ford produced about 177,000 Ford Victorias back in 1956. And this is a classic styling of the 1950s. This is a huge car. Lots of American steel, big chrome bumpers. In fact, this car, the total from bumper to bumper is about 18.5 feet long. This car weighs 3,500 pounds, a full 1,000 pounds over what the Ford Mustang weighs. It is a heavy, heavy vehicle. This car was likely repainted at some point in its life. However, the original color that left the factory was this mandarin orange with a colonial white on top with matching mandarin orange and colonial white interior. This vehicle has the upgraded engine, one of the largest V8 engines that Ford produced back in 1956, which is the 312 Thunderbird engine. Has about 225 horsepower mated to an automatic transmission, what this vehicle has. And given its size and weight, this car can get up and move going down the road. It has a lot of power association, has a nice deep rumble to it. It sounds really good. This car mechanically is in great shape. It's been about 20 years inside of a museum, so mechanically it drives well. We're going to do some interior, some carpet work, redo the radio, but other than that, this is a great vehicle to drive up to the local dairy and grab an ice cream cone. And finally, we have a 1977 Volkswagen Super Beetle convertible. This is a very unique car. Volkswagen produced about 17,000 of these Super Beetle convertibles over in Germany back in 1977. And what separates a Super Beetle from a conventional Beetle is, in fact, the Super Beetle is about 2 inches longer in length, but you really can't notice that. But more importantly, it has an upgraded suspension system. So the front end suspension is a much higher end suspension, which provides a nicer ride and a nicer handling. But the most iconic feature of these Volkswagen Bugs has to be the engine. The engine actually sits in the rear of the car. It's about a 1600cc engine, produces about 48 horsepower, and is attached to a 4-speed manual gearbox. This vehicle is in excellent mechanical shape. It runs very well, it drives very well, but the vinyl top works well, and this is a great fun car on a nice summer day to drop the top and go for a nice ride. Well, thank you very much for coming by and visiting the garage. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about classic cars. But for me, I got to hit the road.